Hello and welcome to the YouTube channel of mprugs.com. Hope you and your family are doing well. In today's episode, I'm going to be featuring three very special types of Turkish pure silk Hereke rugs. These are very much what we would consider to be collectible types of pieces. And it's also as a continuation of the previous video that I did where I talked about um, how people talk about investing in Persian rugs and everything. And I made my own personal opinions about it. I thought very clear in that I do not advertise rugs as being investable pieces, even though some of these pieces, like, for example, we have older Turkish, these are the Hereke from the Ozipek workshops. These are pieces that, because of the price change, have dropped in value in the past few decades. They basically bottomed out the pricing of the mid-90s and have slowly been going up again. Even though, as I always tell my clients, I do believe that if you buy one of these pieces in 20, 30 years, you will probably at least get your money back. That has been what I've always said based on what we have seen. I also made it a point of always telling my clients that when you buy something, especially if you're going to be buying something that you're going to be walking on, you are not buying an investment piece, you're buying a fine home decor item. So if you are into Persian rugs, and like I said, I'm going to feature a very, very special rug that I actually featured in my previous video that I talked about investing in rugs, and I actually made a mistake. I talked about it and I referred to it as an Ozipek. Reason for being is these three pieces that I'm going to be featuring in this video were we were able to acquire them about the same time as we acquired this rare square, just beautiful Ozipek right here. This square piece, for some reason, it stayed in my head. So even though the one that I talk about in the investment video, it's actually a Cinar. It is one of three types of Hereke rugs that all came from back in the greater Istanbul area, the Cinar rugs. They had a lot of workshops. And this square piece that I featured in the video, I kept always referring to it as an Ozipek. Well, for those of you that are familiar with the Turkish Hereke rugs, you may have seen the signature of it and said, wait a minute, Mike talks about it being an Ozipek. Well, it says Cinar. I just want you to know, I apologize. I didn't mean to mislead anyone. I just misspoke. But because the contents of the video was about investing in rugs and not about the actual rug itself, I thought I'd just mention it to you. But in this video, I'm going to be featuring three beautiful, exceptional Cinar rugs as examples of the type of rugs that many people nowadays, a lot of my clients, and I have what is known, what I call the Hereke fan club. For those of you that are members of it, you know exactly who I'm talking to. And I have learned that with the Turkish Hereke rugs, there is a real community out there of people who are really passionate about them, especially the old pieces. From the workshops that got basically decimated by the influx of the cheap Chinese imitation rugs. And no better example of it is here we have a square Ozipek right here. This is a 1414 quality. It comes out to be about 1250 knots per square inch. 1414 means 14 knots, and these are Turkish double knots per centimeter. Absolutely amazing how they made these fine pieces. This one dates back to the 1970s. And here to my right is an equally impressive, also older Aussie Peck. These are the types of pieces that back then people paid, as I mentioned in the previous video, this is the person who originally purchased this rug right here, or the square one, original buyers, they could have bought themselves a new Mercedes four-door sedan with the amount of money that they spent on these rugs. Then the pricing dropped down in the 90s and have since been going up again as they have moved from being a luxury item to being a collectible item, simply because these are from workshops that don't exist anymore. And the Turkish rug weaving culture, the high end, the pure silk, the Hereke, it's basically all but gone. There are still a few workshops that make rugs, but when people compare the new quality with the older quality, um, most people agree with, I mean, like I said, those of us that are passionate about these Turkish rugs, our hearts is always with the older pieces. There's just something about the workmanship, the silk, and everything that is just absolutely remarkable that you don't find in the new pieces. So thought I mentioned that to you, but here we have two beautiful examples of Aussie Pecks. But in this video, and this is especially for those of you that are a member of what I called my Hereke Club, I have three pieces that I'm going to be featuring that I want to showcase to you. I'm actually just going to pull up the chair here. One of them is, and these are all from workshops, well, they don't exist anymore. We have a Cinar, we have, and I'm going to be screwing up their names here, we have an Onal Hali, being that my family is Persian, parents are from Iran, my Turkish pronunciation of names has always been an issue. But then again, so is a Persian side when I try to speak in Persian. So here we have a gorgeous, this is in Onal Hali workshop. And what is absolutely amazing about this old piece right here, this one also dates back to about the 1960s. This is one of the two workshops that was synonymous with high quality Chinar rugs in the greater Istanbul area. And what is also unique about this workshop is that unlike most Hereke weavers workshops from those days, they put signatures top and bottom. This is a 1313 quality, which comes out to be about 1,000 knots per square inch. Just absolutely amazing, as you can see here. And when you look at the close-up pictures, you'll see this is the type of rug that people, when you talk about investing in rugs, this is where passion, collectability comes in place. I don't like to use the word investment, because even though I believe that pieces like these do go up in value over time, I, for one, always tell my clients, you buy these rugs because you, in your heart, you look upon this as a handmade treasure. This is a piece of art. But it's kind of like a stamp collection, or like a fine watch collection, or any type of, I don't want to call luxury item, but this is something that is, for those of you that like to collect certain things, especially when they're handmade, you know what I'm talking about. I do believe that they will go up in value as time goes on, but as I always tell my clients, I don't guarantee it, and I have never told my clients to buy them because of it. But here you have a perfect example of a very rare Unal Hali workshop piece, 1313 quality. The design also, what makes the double signature unique is oftentimes, and this is especially true with the Persian rugs, but also sometimes with the Turkish rugs, a double signature, top and bottom, means that this rug not only was woven by the workshop, but it was also designed by the workshop. And this is very important. This is something that you will sometimes also see in Persian and Gom rugs or in Tabriz rugs, very high-end pieces, where you will have the name of the designer. It will say, for example, something like design workshop name, and then at the bottom it will have the weave, also the workshop name. Thought I mentioned that to you. Next we have, I'm going to go from one extreme to another. We have the 1313 quality. Next we have a 2020 quality. This was part of, like I said, it's a three-piece collection. This is right here from the Iktan workshop. This is 2020 quality. And the reason that these, I mean, this is like a hypercar. This is a supercar type quality. We're talking 4 million knots per square meter, and these are hand knots. That's 20 knots per centimeter. That's 2 double knots per millimeter. Just imagine, this is done all by hand. But the reason that the older pieces, and this one dates to about the 1970s, the reason that these pieces, they tend to be very small in size is because of the amount of time and the cost. This piece right here, if this small one was the size of this square piece right here, this Aussie Peck, if this was also a 2020 quality, the original buyer back in the 1970s could have bought themselves a house if the rug was in this size and this quality. And no, I'm not kidding. These are extremely high end. This is like the very finest of the Rolex watches. Let's put it this way. And so here you have a 2020 quality. This is also a typical example by one of the smaller, they don't exist anymore, by the Iktan workshop. But what is also unique about this is the design of this small piece right here. It's an interpretation of the Aussie Peck inspired sad autumn design. If you look at it, you can see it there. There is the Iktan piece. There is what the Aussie Peck sad autumn piece looks like. That is a classic example. There is their interpretation. There are some minor changes. And the sad autumn is a very popular design in the Turkish Hereke rugs. The Aussie Pecks were the first ones to really incorporate it many, many decades ago. Sometimes you will see nowadays, you will have new workshops that still basically copy the designs and everything. But this Iktan piece, like I said, it dates to about the 1970s. It's an extremely fine piece. And lastly, and my favorite of the three, is this square that I also featured in my video where I talked about investing in Persian rugs. And this is it's a genuine Cinar, as were the other ones. But this was actually made in Cinar by one of the Cinar weavers, and so it has the Cinar signature. But the design is so unusual, and also the quality. This is a 1616 quality, which means, again, 16 knots per centimeter, or about 1600 knots per square inch. But as you can see, it's just a phenomenal piece. And for those of you that are into the Turkish Hereke rugs, obviously the design and everything is um, just unique. It's simply just an absolutely beautiful piece. The high-end Cinar pieces, like the one that I'm holding right here in my hand, very much on the same level as the Aussie Peg pieces. So this is something for those of you that are into the Aussie Peg rugs, I can definitely recommend. But what is absolutely unique about them is these three pieces came from a private collector who was the original owner of all three. I'm assuming a very wealthy individual, from what I understand, industrialist here in Europe. And so his family made these available. And what I decided to do was when we were able to obtain these pieces, um, for those of you that are into, well, let's put it this way. For those of you that are part of my Hereke Club and you know exactly who you are, I'm going to be making all three of these pieces available as a set for a very special price. As I always tell my clients, I generally speaking do not. I like to think of my channel here as not just a promotional thing, but informational. I like the idea of being able to give people actual information about the rugs. But in this case, we have three such unique pieces, just like these two Aussie Pegs, that because I bought these as a set, I'm actually thinking about making them also available as a set to my very special clients. These are all individually listed in my website. And like I said, again, just to give you an example, here we have the 2020 piece. We have a piece that was originally, I believe, sold for the equivalence today of $35,000. This is how much it was sold for back in the 70s. Then the price dropped due to we had the crash in Turkey, the financial mess of the 1990s, and that really just basically it took out the bottom from the whole rug industry and everything. And now the prices have slowly moved up again. The Herekes have basically doubled in value in the last 6 years, 7 years, same as the Persian rugs. But as I always tell my clients, a lot of it has to do with economics, politics, and everything else. So, but just to give an example, like I said, we're talking about rugs that were super, not overly priced, but just incredibly priced, but they have come down. But now that they're going up again, like I said, I was able to get my hands of it. So had to share them with you. Like I said, we have the three absolutely incredible pieces. It's just three of the very many types of Hereke rugs that we feature at our website at mprugs.com. And as I always do, I always mention to you in the videos, this channel is all about handmade carpets. So if this is something that you're interested in, please feel free to subscribe to our channel. And also, there is a link to a video below in the description. If you have questions about a rug that you may own and you just want some quick answers, feel free, watch the video below. Send me shows you the kind of pictures I need and everything. And I can, email them to me and I'll take a look and let you know. Also, if you like, feel free to check us out at mprugs.com. We got clients throughout the world. And like I said, my website is an extension of our wholesale business. On our wholesale level, we deal with rug retailers. But through my website at mprugs.com, I've been dealing with individuals like yourself for over 2 decades now. It's more of a hobby than anything else. And so I hope this video, for those of you that are into the Turkish Hereke rugs, I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to be coming back to you with many more videos to come. Until we see each other again, take care. Best wishes. Bye-bye.